How you doing there? Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying Daf Kuf something. What? We starting what? Where are we? What's this? Okay. I know what's that. I guess Daf Kuf Gimel. Why not? Daf Kuf Gimel. Masechta BavaBasra, friends. We're going to start the 7th parak of Masechta BavaBasra. I hope I didn't record this already. Alright, if so, you'll get the same daf twice. No big deal. Yeah, I don't think that I recorded this yet. Why would I have recorded this? We're going to start the 7th parak of Masechta BavaBasra. The parak called Base Core. It's not a very long parak. It starts in daf Kuf Gimel, it ends in daf Kuf Ches. 5 daf. So here we go. Friends, starting daf Kuf Beis Amud Beis. At the beginning of the parak, I am selling you a base core. A core is 30 sa'ah. 30 sa'ah is a core. So I'm selling you a base core of earth. If there were clefts, I think that's like cracks, like deep cracks, clefts I think they're called, that are 10 tfachim deep, or slaim gavoyin yud tfachim, or rocks that are 10 tfachim tall, einon imdodin ima, they are not measured together with the with the land, right? So if he says I'm selling you a base core of earth, I imagine for farming, for planting, So if there are any significant clefts or rocks, they are excluded from the measurement of the land. Pachis mikan, but if the cleft or the rock is less than 10 tefachim, nimdadin ima, then they are measured with the rest of the base core. Vim omar lo ki base core offer, but if he says, not that I'm selling you a base core, but like a base core. Afilu hayu sham nikoyim amukim yoser me'asar tfachim osloim gavoyin yoser me'asar tfachim. Well, in that case, if he says like a base core, a little bit more plus minus there, well then, even if there were clefts that were 10 tfachim deep, or rocks that were 10 tfachim tall, harezo nimdadin ima, even if they were more than 10 tefachim deep or tall, they would be included because he gave an inexact amount. Tananosim we learn over there, where? Arochin, I guess. We learn in Masechta Arochin. Who's excited for Masechta Arochin? We still have plenty of time to Masechta Arochin, probably like 2 years. Something like that, yeah, maybe like a year and 8 months. It's towards the end of Shas. We don't have that much time left for Babylon Talmud, Chevra. Chevra, you're going to be nostalgic? Probably. If, Babylon Talmud, I make no commitment, no chamo. This Babylon Talmud, I think is a one-shot thing. This Babylon Talmud exists for 7.5 years in the universe. Azoi. So, in another 15 years, 20 years from now, you're going to think back on this Daf Yomi cycle with nostalgia. Remember when there was Babylon Talmud? Al Koponim. So Tananosim we learn in Masechta Arochin. So what I was saying is that we don't have that much time left in Babylon Talmud. I don't know, less than 3 years. Somewhere between 2.5 and 3 years. So Masechta Arochin, there's like those 5 Masechtas at the end over there. There's like, I think maybe it goes Bechoros, and maybe Tmura, Arochin, and then Kresos, and then Me'ilah. I think it starts with Bechora, it ends with Kresos and Me'ilah. I don't know if it's Bechoros and then Arochin, or is it Bechoros and then Tmura. I'll go put him somewhere around then, and then after then there's Masechta Nida, which is not very long, and each one of those other ones are probably like, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 daf. So it's at the end, it's at the last, seems like the last maybe 6 months of so probably about 2 2 years from now or so. Masechta Arochin. So we learned Darton. Hamakdish sadeu b'shasa yovel. So makdish sadeu. So somebody who's makdish his steachuza, his ancestral properties, right? We live in Eretz Yisrael. This is our ancestral homeland, and in Eretz Yisrael, if this was property that was in your family, was from Yoshua. There's Amanaskin Hinchil Yoshua, the Yisrael Sa'aretz, and Hinchil means that he divided up the land among all the people, so that we can be loud and noisy and rowdy, and everybody's going to be okay with it. That's as an aside. Chaver, I had an idea. I can't remember which of my great ideas I share and which I don't yet share. I imagine they all come out over time. But I was thinking the power washer should come in the middle of the night when there's all the drunkards outside, and the power washers, if they come at night, so Mamela, let's just get all the noise out at once. The drunk people, the power washers, and let everybody make a ton of noise at night. It'll be a big balagan, but then the rest of the day we could be left alone. And one of the added benefits is that when the power washers come, they'd wash away all the drunk people. I think it's a good idea. Of course I think it's a good idea. I mean, I'd be very happy with that. Very happy with that. Let's go weiter. For like the millionth time, Tananos, we learned in Masechet Arachin, Amakdish Sadeu. So if somebody consecrates his ancestral property, B'shasa Yovel, if it's during a time when there is Yovel, so then the rate of being podeh that steachuza would be a shekel ufundin l'shana. For each year left until the Yovel, you pay 1 shekel and 1 pundin. There's 48 pundians in a shekel, right? Because it's there's 2 isers in a pundian. There is was it 2 pundians in a ma'ah? Let's say that. So if it's 2 pundians in a ma'ah, and there's 6 ma'ah in, or maybe it's 6 pundian in a ma'ah. If it's 6 pundian in a ma'ah, so then it's 6. Wait, I feel like ma'ah needs to be, I feel like we have to get to 12, and then, wait, and what are we talking about over here? A shekel ufundin. So a shekel is 4 somethings. I did it the other day, and it was totally fine. I think it's 6 pundians in a ma'ah. Okay, so if it's 6 pundians in a ma'ah, no. I feel like it's 6 ma'ah in a in a sela, and then 4 sela in a shekel or something. Dang, I can't remember now. But basically, it's how did I forget that? Wait, it was 2 isers in a pundian. No, I think it's 2 pundians in a ma'ah, I think. 6 ma'ah in a something, and then 4 of those in a shekel. So if you have 2 pundians in a ma'ah, so that's 2, and then 6 ma'ah in a whatever that other thing is, so then that's 12, and then there's 4 of those whatevers in a shekel, so that's 48. I think that's the cheshbon. Okay, so be'etzim, so you have like a be'etzim per each year, it's a shekel and 1 pundian. Even though there's really 49 years, but there's 48. Okay. So now, okay, so where am I? So if it's during a time when there's Yovel, so nosin lo levei chomer sorim, 50 shekel kesef. So it's a total of 50 shekels over the course of the entire Yovel, which comes out be'etzim to a shekel and a pundian, right? Because 1 shekel per year would be 49 shekels, but because it's a shekel plus a pundian each year, so it's 49 shekels plus another 48 pundians, which is be'etzim 50. It's like 49.99 kind of thing, So al koponim, so 50 shekel kesef, and there's this cheshbon. It's a fixed price of a shekel and a pundian for each year. A fixed price. It's not based on the value of the property. It's a fixed price for each year. Shekel pundian. I didn't turn off the, what's this? Okay, one second. I didn't turn off the volume over here. Volume, turn off. Did I not turn off the Bluetooth either? What's this? No, Bluetooth is on too. Boy, I'm a mess. Okay. Al Kaponim. So, wow, we're like mamish not even on today's daf. It's not even a big daf. I'm just taking ages. Which is basically how this whole afternoon's been going. I'm like all over the place over here. But okay. So now, if in that stei achuza there were clefts that were 10 tfachim deep, or sloim gavoyin yud tfachim, or rocks that were 10 tfachim tall, ein nimdodin ima. Well, they are not going to be in the cheshbin of shekel pundian. They would be their own cheshbin. You would evaluate them separately based on their actual value. Now, if it's less than 10 tfachim, either deep or tall, so then they would be included in the shekel pundian rate. Ve'amai, why are they evaluated at face value? While I understand that it wouldn't be the shekel pundian cheshbin of the rest of the field because there's like 10 tfachim deep or tall, but at least evaluate them as their own kind of fields that should be shekel pundian. Why do they have to be at face value? Anything well, because it's not they're not the size of a base core. They're not big enough. Therefore they don't become hektish. But we learn in the Brisa sodeh. When the pasuk says by hektish, it says sodeh. Why does it say sodeh? Fishinemer zerach chomer sorim b'chamishim shekel kesef. Ein yel shektish b'inyan hazeh. Minayin rabos lesech v'chatzi lesech. Because when it says zerach chomer sorim b'chamishim shekel kesef, that's talking about a base core. So all I know about is a base core. Minayin rabos lesech v'chatzi lesech. How do I know that even if somebody's makdish half of a base core or half of a base core? Saw or a saw of property, tarkav, half a saw, v'chatzi tarkav, half of a saw. How do you know that that's oichit, hektish? Tamilomer, sodeh, mikomokum says sodeh, just says sodeh, any size field. So, chatzi tarkav is how much? A tarkav is 3 kavs. Half of a tarkav is 1.5 kavs. Interesting. That would be hektish. Okay. Seder. So mikol makom says sodeh mikol makom. Seder. Okay, fine. So we see that it does taka become hektish even smaller amounts. So why are we saying that those clefts and rocks would be evaluated at face value? Why can't they be evaluated, even if they're not evaluated with the shekel pundian of the rest of the field, but on their own they should be evaluated at their own shekel pundian? Well, the reason why they are not evaluated as a stei achuza is because they're filled with water. The clefts are filled with water. And because the clefts are filled with water, you can't actually plant them. Because you can't plant them, they're not considered as part of the stei achuza. They're rather we evaluate them at face value. I believe that yeah, exactly. Fine. Alright. And we can also infer, because we're comparing these clefts to the rocks, that just like rocks, you can't plant a rock on a rock, so you also can't plant these clefts because they're filled with water. Shmamina. If that's the case, afilu pochis mikan nami. Well, if that's the case, well then even if they're filled with water, then even if they are less than 10 tefachim, they should also not. You can't plant them, so they should not be considered part of the field. Right? We said if it's less than 10 tefachim, then they are included. Hanu nagone da'ar mikru shidre da'ar mikru. Well, those are just called. What was the definition of these? What was the definition of these thingies? Yeah. Okay. The cracks in the land and spines in the land, but like they're not considered anything significant in their own right, and therefore they would be able to be included in the shekel pundian of the rest of the field. Now, what would be the halacha when it comes to this field, right? So we talked about by hektish what happens when there's when there's a cleft that's 10 tefachim deep. How does this apply to selling a field, right? If Shimon's selling the field, right? So what did our Mishnah said? Omer lachaver base kor offer ani mocher loch hoysham nekoyim amukim asar tfachim muslim gavoin yud tfachim enim daden ima. So pachos mikanim daden minu. So how does this work in the context of our Mishnah? Amar papa alpha pisha ein malei moyim, even though they are not filled with water, even if they're not filled with water, they are still excluded. They are still excluded. My time outcome in other wrote to shitin ma'osa b'makom echad v'yirulo kishnayim v'shoshem makomos, because a person doesn't want to pay for a field and there's all sorts of clefts and rocks and it looks like also a whole bunch of different fields in separate areas. He doesn't want that, so therefore they are not going to be considered part of the evaluation, even if there's no water in the clefts. Maskef lo Ravina Asakasha v'adumyo disloim katoni masloim d'lav b'nei zuya ninu afani nami d'lav b'nei zuya ninu. But once again, in our Mishnah, we're comparing the clefts to the rocks. Just like you can't plant on the rock, you shouldn't be able to plant on the cleft. So therefore, maybe our Mishnah is talking about only when it's filled with water. When we say that it's similar to rock, when we compare it to rocks, that's talking about when it's less than 10 tefachim. That even when it's less than 10 tefachim, even though it's filled with water and you can't plant it, just like rocks, still it would be considered part of the cheshbon if it's less than 10 tefachim, because then it's just considered like, just part of the topography of the property. Amr Bitzlak says, Troshim she'amru beis arba kabin, that when we talk about these rocks, that there's these rocks on the land, so it's talking about when they're spread out across four kavs. Across four kavs. And says and that they are, that when we say that these smaller rocks would be included in the field, that's only if they total up to 4 kavs, right? Based on kabin, only a total of up to 4 kavs. That they are also spread out over 5 kavs. But if they are more concentrated than that, then they would not be included in the measurement of the field. And they have to be spread out among the majority of the field, according to Reb Chia Bar Abba and Reb Yochanan. But Reb Chia Bar Abba asks, "Ruban b'miuta b'ruba ma'uteku." What if the majority of the 4 kavs was in a minority, and a minority of it was in the majority? Ich weiß nicht. Rabbi Yirmiyah asks, "Kishir ma'u itstadion ma'u derech hakoloson ma'u teku." What if the rocks are spread out in a circular bracelet, or like a row, or like bull's horns or something, or like a zigzag? Ich weiß nicht. Tana imoyo sela yechidi, if there was one stone that was outside of the borders of the field, afilu koshu enim dad ima, so even if it's a tiny stone, it's not included in the measure of the field. B'may samuch lemeitzer, if it was in the field, but right next to the border, afilu koshu, even if it's a koshu enim dad ima, it's not going to be included if it's right next to the border. But Papa Mifsak offer bin time mao, what if there was a little bit of dirt between the rock and the border? Teku uchfeis nishbay. Rav Ashi says, Rav Ashi offer milamata v'tu milamala. What if there was dirt below the rock and rock above and rock on top? Lamala offer. Or what if above it was dirt milamat? Wait, what? Offer milamala. What if there was dirt above v'tu milamata and rock below? Ma'u teku. That was Daf Kuf Gimel of Masechta BavaBasra. We started learning about this base core. That was Givaldic stuff. Peace.